Good morning. The meeting of the Windward Planning Commission will now come to order. It is Thursday, February 2nd, 2023. The time is 9:01 a.m. This meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. At this time, I will do introductions of commissioners. Commissioner Gilbert Aguinaldo.
Here.
Commissioner Lauren Baylog.
Good morning.
Commissioner John Cross.
Here.
Vice Chair Luis Daniele III.
Good morning.
Commissioner Wayne DeLuz is absent and excused, and I'm Chair Dennis Lin, and we have a quorum to hold this meeting. From the Office of Corporation Counsel, Deputy Corporation Counsel Sinclair Salas Ferguson, Attorney for the Commission.
Good morning.
Deputy Corporation Counsel Jean Campbell, Attorney for the Planning Department. Representing the Planning Department is Planning Director Zendo Kern.
Aloha.
And in the back, Deputy Planning Director Jeffrey Darrow. And staff here today, we have Jessica Andrews, Clinton Mercado, Maya Jackson, Melissa Dakayanan Salvador, and Zoom host Janice Hata. Just a few housekeeping items. Please make sure your cell phones are turned off or on silent mode. If there is anyone here who would like to testify, please fill out the yellow sign-up form at the back table and give it to our staff. Also, if you have any written testimony that has not been sent in earlier, you may submit it now. To all of us who are attending here in person, please press the button on your microphone to turn it on when you speak and mute it again when you are done. If the light is on, that means your mic is on. Also, please remember to speak directly into the mic. At this time, I would like to give the floor to Director Kern for just a brief introduction of our guests here.
Good morning, all. I just wanted to take a quick moment. We're really honored and proud to be hosting a delegation from Palau doing a zoning exchange. There's 12 of them that have come over, and we're sitting down with them and going through our processes from zoning and subdivision, or various processes, SMA to Chapter 343, as they enact additional zoning. So we have various members here, from governors to planning commissioners to planners, across multiple different states that they have. And it's been a really honor and privilege to sit down and work and learn and teach with them, and really want to thank our staff. And they're also going to be learning from you folks today, because they're also learning how we do our planning commissions more. So here we have all them present. I just want to say aloha to you all. And they're not all here to testify. They're here to watch, learn, and observe. So thank you all for being here. It's a real honor and privilege. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Director Kern, and welcome all. At this time, I would like to go over to the minutes. January 6th minutes were circulated, and I would like to ask if there were any corrections to those minutes. Seeing that there is none, may I ask for a motion to approve the minutes as circulated?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Right, it's been moved by Vice Chair Daniele and seconded by Commissioner Aguinaldo that the minutes of the January 6th, 2023 minutes be approved. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carry, minutes are approved. We now move on to public testimony. As it's stated in the published agenda, members of the public may provide public testimony regarding any agenda item now or at the time of the agenda item is called to order. If there is anyone here who would like to testify, please fill out the yellow sign-up form at the back table and give it to our staff. Also, if you have any written testimony that has not been sent in earlier, you may submit it now. Testifiers on Zoom, you may choose to provide your testimony now or at the time the agenda item is called to order. Please keep your video camera off and muted until you are called to testify by the host. Note that the Zoom platform and YouTube live stream are provided as a courtesy. Today's hearing will continue if the Zoom or YouTube connections fail. Finally, before we start to receive public testimony pursuant to Rule 1-5 of the Planning Commission's Rules of Practice and Procedure, I'd like to remind everyone to be courteous and respectful of all testifiers, staff members, and commissioners. Please direct all testimony to me as chair. All right, staff, do we have any testifiers for general testimony? Thank you. Are there any Zoom testifiers at this time for general testimony?
Morning, Chair Lynn. We have 3 testifiers in the Zoom room, and they are all testifying on agenda item number 1.
Okay. In that case, Zoom testifiers, we will move, since they're testifying on agenda number 1, item number 1, then we will move on to agenda item number 1, which is applicant Academia Sinica Institute of Astronomy and Astrophysics, PL-SPP-2022-000025. Application for a special permit for the temporary operation of an array of 10 satellite dishes and a 50-foot by 50-foot dipole antenna array and related improvements to conduct research on fast radio bursts, or FRBs, on an approximately 2.0 acre of a larger 10.7 acre property in the state land use agricultural district. The subject property is located at approximately 1,375 feet southeast Mackay of the Wood Valley Road, Makakupu Road intersection, Ka'alaala, Kapalapala, Ka'u, Hawaii. TMK 39-6-011, parcel number 7, a portion of. Please note that this agenda item, Commissioners Cross and Daniele have expressed a conflict of interest and are recused themselves from this item. Therefore, we do not have quorum to proceed with this agenda item, and it will be heard at a later commission hearing. However, I will be taking public testimony for this item. So Commissioners Cross and Daniele, if you could please recuse yourself and leave the hearing room for now. And due to a conflict of interest with Planning Director Zendo Kern, Deputy Planning Director Jeffrey Darrow will be representing the Planning Department. So let's begin with Zoom testifier. Janice?
Yes, our first testifier on Zoom is Noah Kaiserman. Mr. Kaiserman, if you could turn on your camera and audio, you will have 3 minutes to provide your testimony. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, and
I'm a woman.
I'm sorry, but I also have to swear you in. And actually, could I swear in all 3 of the Zoom testifiers at one time? Is that possible?
Hello, my name is Stefan Taylor, and I've been talking to I've been here to
Mr. Taylor.
Yeah.
If I could swear all 3 testifiers first, and then
Yes.
you'll have your turn.
I think that another testifier is having a trouble with audio, Miss Sandra Riha. So I'm gonna try to instruct her how to call in, just to let you guys know. Thank you.
Okay. But can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth on this matter now before the Windward Planning Commission?
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll start with sorry, Janice. Oh, which was the first testifier?
Noah Kaiserman.
Okay. Noah Kaiserman.
Yes.
may please-
Can you hear me?
Yes. Please go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
All right. I'll try to be brief, but from my heart. Aloha to all, and respectful to all. I've lived here for 40 years and 22 years on Upper Wood Valley, and now only 1 mile for the last 18 years to exactly where you're proposed planning to do this project. So, because this is a natural agricultural advancement above where the proposed plan is scheduled, the best soil for raising animals, it's silent and beautiful environment using natural agriculture to feed us. I apologize, I have some difficulty speaking sometimes, so please be patient. I'm asking, why would you come to one of the most fertile zones here on the Big Island when there are other places that are already desecrated with that sort of thing? I'm not saying desecrate other places, but I'm saying this is an honorable and awesome area that has no electricity, it's remote, it's silent, the best agriculture for animals, growing, cattle, I said that already, and without frequency of wavelengths, radio frequency, the FRS, it is most people's highest desire of a wonderment of a place to live. This is why I raised my children here, and that's why they're amazing children. They're not into the internet, they're not into all of that stuff. They're natural, just like this whole surrounding. I send love to all of you. We know you want the most quiet, but that's why we live here. Less electric advances. If I'm not mistaken, you want to put two 20-foot containers as well as all of those things that you just mentioned, and 20-foot, 10-foot wide satellites that receive radio frequency and more. This raises my heartbeat, not only changes my mood and makes me shake. I want to stay here because of the remoteness, beauty, and quietness, and non-advanced in the electronic new world that we live in, electronic, cellular, radio frequency. It's abhorrent. It's a desecration to this beauty where I live. I hope I expressed myself, although it upsets me and makes me angry. I will say that, but not to each person. I'm sending love to all of you, love from my heart. Please consider what I'm saying. It's really a desecration, what your plan is.
Thank you, Ms. Kaiserman. Thank you for your testimony. Could we go on to the next testifier, please?
Yes, the next testifier is Stephen Taylor.
Hello, County Council. Thank you for hearing me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead. You have 3 minutes, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank you all for your time in directing this meeting. This has been an unfortunate presentation to our community. I am a resident up in Wood Valley, and it seems it's been my mission to represent other folks who don't have the technological education in order to gather materials, get notarized, and apply a CCH for something like this through the EPIC portal. We're just not trained to do that. So it seems I am a representation of other community members. There is concern that as a historically agricultural zoned area, that this could very well open the door for similar explorations and permits on a commercial level. Our main concern is that this area would evolve further from something that would be a land that serves its people. And as Noah mentioned, an exploitation of this quiet, isolated arguably sacred space. Imagine this area that was once occupied by historic sugar agriculture and founding community, turning into a space known for these metal structures. Instead of an organic Mamaki tea farm, which is actually thriving these days, grazing cattle and agricultural stimulation that exists today, it could be something that what looks like has happened on South Point Road or Upper Road, this road between, we call it Upper Road, in between Pahala and Na'aleu, where similar satellite structures have been placed, are now sites for gawking, where other travelers, tourists, locals come to see and disturb the local area. We pride ourselves in being able to be diligent in our work. We are in a very isolated space, so we're vulnerable to vandalism and theft. There's been a previous permit that has taken place, or an application that was taking place last spring, that was denied by the commission due to public concern. We weren't able to get as many constituents involved in contesting because of the time of the year that it was placed, and the sign was hard to notice on the side of the road. The last conclusions of the past, the recommendation of the planning department for the same issue proposed that it would not promote the effectiveness of the objective chapter 205.
Stefan, I'm sorry, you have 30 seconds.
Thank you so much. The request would be contrary to general plan of Ka'u community development plan that has been historically placed within this area. It will work against preservation of important agricultural land elements that I can list, but do not have time to. It would also, and this it involves with policy 38, to reinforce existing protections and to create areas where economy can be created within this agricultural zone. And it will adversely affect the surrounding properties. That's my 3 minutes. I was timing myself. So shoot, like what? Thank you for taking the time to listen to this,
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, sir.
Janice, if you could move on to the next testifier, please.
Yes, the next testifier is Michelle Wild.
Ms.
Hi,
Wild, you
thank
have
you.
3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for letting me speak today. My family owns about 50 acres in Wood Valley on North Road, almost directly across the street from where this proposed project is. I want to register my opposition to this project for a couple reasons that may be not exactly in line with the other people who had the opportunity to speak here today, but also just, things that are important to us. For one, being across the street and having our property go up the hill from that area, we would be able to see the satellite dishes and the shipping containers from our location. Just aesthetically, it's not aligned with the existing agricultural heritage of the area. So we are quite concerned with the aesthetic impact. I know that they will be trying to cover the area from the road, so it won't be quite visible from the road, but it is visible from some of the locations across the street. Another really important thing that I wanted to register is that when we heard Dr. Chen speak about the project, he said the main reason they selected this area is because of the lack of cell service and the lack of existing radio waves and signals in the area. I understand completely. I am fully in support of science, but I just am opposed to having this in this area, in part because it precludes any sort of advancement in terms of bringing cell service to the area in the future. Currently, there is no cell service there. You've tried Verizon, AT&T, different services. You can't get cell service, which means in an emergency, you can't contact the outside world. We're also very subject to vandalism and theft on our property. Personally, we've had a lot of items stolen, and bringing more awareness to the area and bringing more visitors, I think will increase the prevalence of that. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for hearing me. And I hope that you deny this project.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Janice, are there any other testifiers on Zoom?
Not at this moment. We have one testifier, Sandra Rea. She wasn't able to connect, so I'm not sure if she will be testifying today. But other than her, we don't have any testifiers in the Zoom room.
If I can approach the council here, I gave her one of the Zoom numbers and the code to try to dial in through the phone.
Okay, do we see her on the Zoom yet, Janice?
No, not yet.
Okay, I will.
I have a
give-
question if it's
Yes.
if it's at all possible. We weren't informed of deadlines in submitting our contested cases. Was there a deadline for this issue?
I will refer that question to planning department staff or deputy planning director.
There is a deadline. It's normally 7 days prior to the first hearing. This is the second hearing on the matter, but both hearings have been, we have not had quorum. And so it is not, I mean, we are trying to kind of determine if that qualifies as a first hearing or not. Based on the fact that we did not have quorum to hold the meeting, which is normally not the fault of the applicant. It's just circumstances that happen. Your petitions have been received, and that question is being posed to our corporation counsel to be able to determine whether they are timely. Hopefully in our March Windward Planning Commission hearing, we will have quorum to be able to work on this agenda item. And at that time, if it is opined that the contested case petitions are timely, then they will be brought up at that time.
Well, sir, if I might ask, what qualifies as timely?
Prior to 7 days from the first hearing on the matter.
And so you were trying to determining if this is a official hearing or not. Am I correct?
First meeting.
I'm
sorry. Yes, we're trying to
please. Yes.
What's that guy's name? This guy? Steven? Is it Mr. Taylor?
Hi, Mr. Taylor. This is Deputy Corporation Counsel Sinclair Salas Ferguson. I advise the Windward Planning Commission. There'll be a determination made on the petition that you submitted at the next meeting.
Okay, and that's in March, sir?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you so much for your attentiveness. Thank you for receiving my question. I was able to get Sandra Reha. She called me on my device. Is it possible for her to give a testimony through my connection with you guys? Because I can hear her talking right now.
If we can hear her properly, Mr.
Yeah.
Taylor, then that will be sufficient.
Okay.
But if we cannot hear her, then it'll be hard to receive
Okay.
her testimony.
If I can just have 5 seconds to tell her to turn her volume down so you will be able to hear her on her device, I'll be right
Okay.
with you. Thank you.
Oh,
All right, this is Sandra, County Council Men and Women.
is that working now?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
You have 3 minutes, S. Here we go.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, ma'am. I do have to swear you in. So if you could please just respond to my question here. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth on this matter now before the Windward Planning Commission?
S, we're swearing you in here. Can you get your right hand up for the screen, my friend?
I
no,
would just
you're-
need a yes or no. It's
Oh,
a little difficult to see.
Can you say yes for us, please?
I'm trying to know, am I in?
Yes, and you're being sworn in. You have to agree to being
Oh,
sworn in.
okay.
If you can say yes.
All right.
Maybe she needs to hear it one more time. Sir.
Okay. Can you hear us, ma'am?
Yes, I just
Do you-
now.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth on this matter now before the Windward Planning Commission?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you may start your testimony. You have 3 minutes.
All right, thank you. This means so much to me, and all the people around here really. It's frustrating because we don't have the skills to get on this. Anyway, I've been involved several times now with events that Mr. Olson has attempted to offer. And one was the biofuel locale right there on the corner of his property by the coffee mill. And there was a lot of effort put into it, but he saw that there was so much dissension in the community, Pahala, Wood Valley, all around, that he canceled it. And then we had another, like Mackinac. He offered that space so that we could go and have ceremony. And there were moments, the most beautiful moments up there, but there was people that complained about it and he canceled it. So I would hope that I'm not sure his involvement at this point, but I hope that he knows that this area, and that is all Ka'u. We aren't just talking Wood Valley, Pahala, Nalehu. It's the whole thing. And the Community Development Commission worked years and years to establish all this and the benefits of honoring this as an agricultural zone. And it needs to be perpetuated. We don't know what's going to be happening. I've heard that we get 85% of our food from outside the island. Well, it's ridiculous. We should be the most self-sufficient. We should be sending it out to everybody else, not the other way around. And in times where there might be problems with the boats getting here, with the planes getting here, we need to be more self-sufficient, not offering our land out to other things that might come in. And once we open up to that, who knows what'll be next. It's not right. It's not what we're about. It's not what we believe in. It's not why we're called here to live and to have our crops and our, all the agricultural things. We need to enlarge this. We need to make it a greater.
I'm sorry, Sandra, 30 seconds.
And gee, I had some other things, but I didn't know I was going to speak. So now again, anyway, I hope that you're listening and that this committee does not even begin to think that they have the right to change this agricultural zone. I don't think anybody does at this point. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Any other testifiers on Zoom? Janice?
No, there are no other testifiers in the Zoom room.
Okay. Seeing that there are no other testifiers on Zoom, public testimony for this item is closed. And as stated, due to a lack of quorum, this agenda item will be heard at a future Windward Planning Commission hearing. Moving on to item number 2. And at this point, we'll bring back Commissioner Daniele and Cross and Director Kern. Okay, item number 2. Applicant is Robert and Ruby Kobayashi. Application number PL-SPP-2022-000027. Request to delete condition number 2, life of permit, or amend condition number 2 for a 10-year time extension of special permit number 1194, which was approved by the Planning Commission on January 17th, 2003, to allow the establishment of an auto repair shop on approximately 3,500 square feet of land within the State Land Use Agricultural District. The property is located at the northwest corner of the Keaupahoa Road, Highway 130 at Ilima Street intersection. Orchid Land Estates Subdivision, Keau, Puna, Hawaii, TMK 1-6-009, parcel number 166. Okay, at this time, we would like to bring up staff. Clinton, please go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you, Chairlin. Hello and good morning, everyone. We will begin the Kobayashi presentation with the location map. The subject parcel indicated in blue is the Puna district, more specifically in the Orchid Land Estate subdivision. The parcel is approximately 100 feet mauka of Keaupahoa Highway 130 and the Ilima Street intersection. From the intersection, Keaupahoa Highway runs in the north and west, and while Ilima Street runs in the southwest and northeast direction. The applicant's request. The applicant is requesting an amendment to special permit number 1194 to either delete condition number 2, which is the life of the permit, or to amend condition number 2 for a 10-year time extension. Condition number 2 states, the life of the permit for the auto repair shop shall be for 10 years from the effective date of this amendment, or upon new commercial/industrial zone lands become available within the vicinity of Hawaiian Paradise Park subdivision and Orchid Land Estate subdivision, with a reasonable period to effect the relocation, whichever occurs first. The purpose for the request, the business was created to provide a convenient light industrial service to the growing community. The applicant would like to continue operating their auto repair shop that was established 20 years ago at the subject property. The life of permit condition was added to ensure that the business would move when suitable industrial zone lands became available. However, since the special permit was approved in 2003, no industrial zone lands have become available in Hawaiian Paradise Park or Orchid Land Estate subdivision to allow the business to relocate. Thus, the applicant had a 10-year time extension approved by the Windward Planning Commission in 2013, and now is requesting to delete condition number 2 or receive another 10-year time extension. Next, we move on to the county zoning map. The subject property outlined in blue and its surrounding properties are Zone Agricultural 1, shown in green. Next is the state land use boundary. The subject property and all surrounding properties are designated agricultural by the State Land Use Commission, shown in green. Here is the general plan LUPIG map. The general plan land use pattern allocation guide map designates the subject property and surrounding properties as rural, shown in the mustard yellow. I provided this for clarification. Here are a couple of the Puna CDP maps of the area indicating the extent of a regional town center and a neighborhood village center. On the left is the Hawaiian Paradise Park Regional Town Center, located approximately 2.5 miles from the subject property. And on the right is the Orchid Land Neighborhood Village Center, located approximately 1.5 miles from the subject property. Both CDP maps were developed and adopted 5 years after the business was established in 2003. These are our old maps, but we are working on updating it. Yeah. Here's the site plan provided by the applicant. Showing the existing auto repair shop area and the existing dwelling on the right. You can see the, yeah, existing dwelling auto repair shop area with the highway, the Kelpoho Highway on the left side and Ilima Street here. Here are a couple area photographs. In the upper left corner is the subject property outlined in blue. And then to the right, the bottom right is a zoomed in version of the subject property, showing the all the improvements and the surrounding areas. Excuse me, the top left area shot shows the single family dwelling, farms, and in the area. Here we have more photographs. The top left image is looking southwest through the intersection of Keaupahoa Highway and Ilima Street with the subject property on the right. The bottom left image looking northeast from Ilima Street with the subject property on the left. Here. And the image on the right is looking northwest from Ilima Street of the subject property. Our last slide is the director's recommendation. The planning director is recommending deleting condition number 2 in order to allow the special permit to run with the land. That concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Chairman.
Thank you, Clinton.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions for staff? Okay, seeing no questions, we'll move on to the applicant. So may I please ask the applicant or the applicant's representative, please come up. If I could please swear you in, please.
Sure.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth on this matter now before the Windward Planning Commission?
Yes, I do, sir.
Please speak directly into your microphone and state your name, the area you reside in, and whom you represent.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Sidney Fouquet. I live in Hilo. I'm here assisting the applicant, Mr. and Mrs. Kobayashi.
Sorry, Mr. Fouquet, have you received the background and recommendation reports from the planning department? And do you agree with the recommendations, including the proposed conditions?
Sure. Before directly responding to that, I'd like to kind of make a full disclosure. The applicants, one of the applicants' family member works for the planning department, but I can assure this commission that staff member has never had any substantive discussions with members of the staff, neither the director or deputy. All of the discussions have been through me. So I just wanted to make that as a disclosure on behalf of the applicant and that staff member. Yes, we have received the staff's background report, the recommendation. I've had a chance to discuss it with the applicant and who is here, Mr. Rilan Maidel, he's here. He's a family member of the Kobayashi. They reviewed it and they're very appreciative that the staff is recommending that the condition be deleted. We're here to answer any further questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Fouquet. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Fouquet? All right, if not, okay. If not, may I entertain a motion?
Okay, I move that the application for special permit docket number 2022-000025 be approved based on the planning director's recommendation, which shall be adopted.
I second.
Just a clarification, I see here as it's 27. Okay, staff, is that correct? 25 or 27? Application number?
Application number is 27.
27. Okay.
On the papers is 20. Yeah.
Okay, if yeah, Commissioner Vice Chair, could you please just amend your motion with the proper application number?
Yes, I will amend the approval application with 2022 22-000-027.
I second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Vice Chair Daniele and seconded by Commissioner Aguinaldo.
Thank you, Chair.
Go
I just
ahead,
wanted to,
Director Kern.
thank you. Before you get folks get into discussion, just wanted to share, as you may recall, we had a similar application a few months back, Curly's Auto Repair in Hawaiian Paradise Park. This location of this project has been there much longer than 2003. For us that grew up in Puna, it's been there for quite a while. And as we've seen, the settlement patterns in the area have not provided for that industrial type usage and space. Therefore, that was the reason to really just eliminate this condition with the timing, allow them certainty to move forward and continue to operate as a business that they have been operating for many years. We don't have, issues and complaints with it. So that's the reason for it. Just give them that peace of mind in that space. So any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Kern. Any other questions? No? Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, staff, roll call vote, please.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Daniele,
Aye.
Commissioner Aguinaldo. Aye. Commissioner Bailog,
Aye.
Commissioner Cross,
Aye.
and Chair Lynn.
Aye.
Thank you. The ayes have it 5-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Fouquet.
very much.
Alrighty, we will move on to our business portion. Planning Director's report. The SMA report for January was distributed via email. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the report? Okay. Seeing none. Agenda items for the next meeting, staff.
Chair, we have one item on next month's agenda.
Thank you. Okay, and we will now go on to announcements. So I have a note here that Commissioner Aguinaldo's last commission meeting is possibly this one. So there has been a nomination for a seat and we will be awaiting that person's confirmation. Any other announcements?
Chair,
Yes.
I have an announcement. So
Go ahead, Maya.
we actually, the mayor actually made 2 nominations for the Windward Planning Commission, and those 2 nominees will be heard at the council committee, I believe, next Tuesday. So we're hoping to get both of them seated if they are confirmed at your March hearing. That's a little bit ambitious, but that's the hope.
Great, thank you. All right, then the Windward Planning Commission's next monthly meeting is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, March 2nd, 2023, here in the County Council chambers in Hilo, and the public may also testify via Zoom. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will entertain that motion to adjourn.
Is it okay? It's been moved by Vice Chair Daniele.
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner
Yes.
Aguinaldo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, the Windward Planning Commission is now adjourned at 9:45 a.m. And at this time, since we're done with business, since we have guests here who would like to learn about the planning process, any questions for us or the director or staff?